Basically, we want to give you a little background on how we put the book together, and actually, as I was putting the book together, how I met her, and how she became part of the process.
And became your best friend.
Yeah. Is that really a big deal? Yeah, it is. We'll hug it out later, bitch.
So, we met because you...
I'll start it first. I got this idea to put together, compile a whole bunch of different dates. I had no idea number I wanted to hit. I had no idea if I wanted to have men tell their worst dates dealing with women, or gay guys and lesbians telling their stories. I really didn't have any idea. But I had this inspiration from a friend, and I decided to go, where else can I get the stories but people I know, strangers, and where's the biggest place to get the most strangers, and that's online. And I tried AOL chat rooms, I tried dating sites, I tried MySpace, I tried a little bit of Facebook, but they stopped me. They wouldn't let me do it there, but the dating site is where I met her. And how did I meet you there?
We met because he was sending messages asking women for their worst dates, and I got one of those messages, and I responded, and from there we continued talking. He told me about his project, and I was excited when I heard about, the dating stories he was collecting. I showed a ton of enthusiasm. I began to help him collect messages from MySpace.
Very tedious.
Yeah.
Send message after message every day for 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, and sometimes it'd be 2 or 3 hours a day. And we would pull all-nighters.
Sometimes.
We did pull all-nighters collecting messages to make sure we got things done. And then he asked me to be his partner and start working on the book with him.
And we're actually, the key part is, you never told him the key part. As I met you through this dating site, I lived in New York, and you lived
I live in Chicago.
So while we were working this book, we never met each other in person.
How long was it? I would say...
I know you were working on the book since I met you in March. Since I'll say April, May. And then in June, I actually officially worked with me as a partner, and I sent you the contract.
And then I ventured out to New York by myself in October. So 6 months of knowing him over phone conversations and emails. And even after signing the contract, I ventured out to New York by myself on an Amtrak and met Greg at Penn Station.
Mm-hmm.
And from then on, I traveled to New York countless times. He's been to Chicago. Well, we're actually filming right now in Chicago. So we met online. We met 6 months after meeting online, and then we gave birth to this baby.
It was a pain in the ass putting it together.
We had our ups and downs.
The whole process was a pain in the ass, but yet fun. Because you're making something you want to make. You want to do it, so you put in that little extra effort. It was an interesting process, and I would definitely do it again. I mean, with a different idea. Because I tend to get bored. If I was to do like a sequel to this, I'll probably get bored doing it. Because it is a very intensive, and you do have to solicit, and you do have to kind of cross your fingers and hope that, hey, if I send for this many of hours, hopefully I don't get, unusable stories or, crap or angry feedback from people telling me that, what type of person are you? Can't you just write your own book?
Yeah.
I can write my own book, but that's not the point. The point is I wanted real stories. I didn't want to go fake stories. Hey, let me act like a woman going on a bad date. I don't want that. I want it real. That was the whole point. If you don't want to share a story, then you don't. I'm not going to shoot you. There's no gun to your head.
Yeah, we got some real sassy women. We got those messages that...
It was probably, I like to say, maybe like 1% of every message we got. It wasn't like a lot.
No.
But those are kind of the ones that are the most jarring because these women will get passionate.
Yeah, if you're so passionate about it, then you shouldn't have written back. I mean, we didn't obligate you to write back. You could have just ignored us and gone along with your day. So yeah, so over 100 messages a day, sometimes more when we pulled our all-nighters. And my average were about 10 messages back from that 100 and something I sent. And maybe, if I was lucky, a couple of them were useful. So it took a lot of time, and it took a lot of message sending, a lot of collecting to get 69 stories. Or we got more than 69 stories, but these are the ones that made the cut.
Then you kind of have to also do like extra research and, checking out the books, kind of like in your subject range, because you kind of want an idea, hey, what kind of cover I want to do, how do I want to arrange everything, because, we're not part of the publishing world. We don't exactly have a clear-cut idea. There are books, there are places to learn, but you kind of have to look at things and kind of decide if this is something you want to do, or do you want to farm it out to someone who can do it better. Because there is like a monetary, threshold that we have to worry about, and we're always worried about that, but,
Yeah.
we did the best we could.
With the help of
People around us.
yeah, our family and friends.
Getting lucky with using Craigslist.
And Elancer was another good site that we used.
Elance.com, which is it's almost like a site for, you can find people who are freelancing certain things in terms of web design, editing, writing, and you pretty much, you put up the bid that you want, that this is what I want, this is the job I want to put out there, and then other people, the freelancers, will submit bids, and then you come to contract with them, and you work over online. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, the woman who did our cover and did the layout of the inside, she lives in Canada. I mean, we've never met her, we've never spoken on the phone to her, everything was strictly over that site. And she did a wonderful job. We definitely use her again.
A lot of it was, you kind of have to use your gut. You kind of have to, alright, this is a cheaper price, but the person, the way what they approached us with wasn't something we liked. And Molly was actually the more expensive one. But we went with her because she seemed to like the project. She had a clear-cut idea. And we like, let's go for the one that's a little more expensive because the cover is a big deal. We're not gonna have, take up the picture and just have the title on the cover and hey, we're done, because that's the cheap route and that's the way we could have went that way. We didn't want to do that. We wanted something cute, like my ensemble here.
I also want to mention the photographer we found on Craigslist, Jim Sorfleet.
He was great.
Yeah. Jim was, he's still a wonderful person. Every now and then we'll get a message from him on Facebook asking how the project is going.
We still owe him a book.
And Molly,
we keep forgetting. Our mistake. We're going to rectify that. We love you guys.
Yeah, you guys did wonderful work for us. But yeah, he's a great photographer at SNS Photography, or SNS Photo, SNS-Photo. So try to look him up if you need a photographer, because he does great work.
You know what you should do? Why don't you just read this?
Okay, I will read.
Read it out, and I'll smile for the camera while you read it.
Look pretty. So, worst dates, dating cocks. Women are looking for a good time with good company when they date. The funny thing is, in a world of possibility, opportunity, and yes, disappointment, you don't expect it, you don't ask for it, but worst dates do happen. Happen because of assholes, jerks, weirdos, introverts, psychos, clingy, misinformed, and the slick. These are the cocks of the dating world. Real women contributed 68 of their personal worst date stories in this book. These stories are funny, sad, raw, and revealing. Co-author Greg even added the worst date he put a young lady through for a total of 69 stories. Redefine what a cock means to you as you read through this collection of 69 worst date stories. Let Greg offer you a glimpse into the mind of a cock. Sometimes their words are worse than their actions. It's time to take advantage of Emily's escape routes and demand a new set of rules, the Demandments. So if that
that's
sounds...
actually the back cover.
Yeah.
And if it sounds appealing, please check it out at datingcox.com, datingcox.com. Order the paperback, order the ebook, read it.